Nan Shepherd is one of the most powerful voices in Scottish 20th century literature. For the early 1900s, she scribed 3 novels and into the lives of working folk in Scotland's northeast. For the farming folk of the Mearns to the wee clachans devoid of men during the First World War. As well as her novels, she was a skeely macker, scribbing poems in both Scots and English. She's best kent today for her mountain meditation, The Living Mountain, scribed and then the Cairngorms during the Second World War. To find out more about this Ken Speckle figure, I've come here to the ancient and bonny Old Aiberdeen campus, Nan Shepherd's own alma mater. It was here in 1977, after 40 years of obscurity, that her great work, The Living Mountain, was put into print. We're here to meet an expert, Professor Ali Lumsden. Why was Nan Shepherd?
Well, if I was Nan Shepherd, that's a really good question. And if you'd asked people in Aberdeen that question a few years ago, nobody would have known anything about Nan Shepherd. But now that Nan Shepherd's on the £5 note, everybody wants to find out about her. And a lot of the reason for that is the Living Mountain, her meditation and walking in the Cairngorms has been reprinted and republished, a lot of attention. And so now folk want to ken who Nan Shepherd was and who is this woman on the money.
The University of Aberdeen is an awfully multicultural campus. What do the students in your class make of the Doric in Nan Shepherd's work?
Well, some of them find it quite challenging, there's no doubt about that. But once they get into it, they usually get on nae so bad. It's often nae so much the international students who find it difficult because by definition, they're students who are working in a second language anyway, so they're used to doing that. They're probably students who are good at picking up language, so they can find that nae too bad. Our own students, for a whole loads of reasons, may have resistance to actually reading stuff in Doric, and that may not be because they find the language difficult, but it may be for a whole lot of other reasons that they have a resistance to that. But once they get into it and they find a way into it, I don't think they find it too difficult at all. One of the things I always try and do with the students is to point out that there's lots of books they may read in Scots, but this is very specifically North East Scots or Doric, and that they can tell that because Shepherd's using fit and fa and words like that, which you'd only find that form of pronunciation in the North East. And once the students realise that, I think they begin to mark connections with the language they're hearing round about them, that might be hearing on the bus or for folk in shops. And then that seems like a living thing and not just something that's on the page. I think once they get that idea, they actually really quite like that and they engage with it more. The first couple of pages of the Quarrywood, quite dense, North East Scots and Aunt Josephine, and I think that's, you know, it takes you straight in there. It's quite challenging at the outset. But once you get into the text, it's not as dense as the opening is. And in some ways, I think that's because Shepherd says herself that she'll use a Scots word when it's the best word, not just because it's the sake of using Scots. So, in that sense, I don't think she's a language activist in the same way as some of the other writers of the Scottish Renaissance, maybe like Chris Grieve. It's more, this is language and I'm interested in language and I'll use the best word to say if I want to say.
I'd like to speak to you now and then Nan Shepherd as a macker. Tell me a bit about what role poetry played in her life.
Well, I think writing and reading were absolutely central to all things she did. She's a keen reader. We've got some more notebooks. We can see that she's taking notes. She's writing down bits of poetry from other folks' poetry, in amongst sometimes her own poetry, and that's quite hard because you're thinking, well, fits her and fits somebody else. So she's absolutely central to everything that she believed and that she did. And that when students who were taught by her, say at the training college for teachers, what they always speak about is the sense in which she gave them a love of literature, and what she wanted to do was give them that love of literature. So I think reading, and by extension her own writing, were really important to her, but they were also quite private to her. I think there weren't things that she wanted to go about saying, you know, I'm a writer and that's how I want to be thought of. She actually kept it as quite a private thing, because there's the story of Jessie Kesson meeting her on the train, and she has this lovely conversation with Jessie Kesson, and then she supports Jessie Kesson to be a writer herself. But Jessie Kesson's recollection of it is that when Nan Shepherd got off the train, she didn't ken it was Nan Shepherd the writer. You know, Nan Shepherd never said, I'm Nan Shepherd the writer, kind of thing. Yes, so, you know, I think there were bits of her life that she kept quite separate as well.
What would you say the relevance is of her work of the day, and what legacies does she have in the North East and in Scotland more broadly?
Oh, I think it's huge. I think folks should be going back reading her work, because what they would find is that the things she's dealing with, particularly women education, what the purpose of arts education is at all, its value, the purpose of women in education, the challenges that women maybe meet in the workplace or in the other aspects of their life, female friendships, all those kinds of questions that still are they're probably more relevant than they were for a while, actually, sadly. So, I think it's a point where folks should be going back and reading Shepherd again and seeing how relevant that is and what it can say to us now about female experience. But also, I think one of the things that's really important for the North East is what Nan Shepherd does in her work is she emphasises the importance of the local and the regional, if you want to put it like that. But there's a line in the Quarry Wood where Martha looks at place and sort of says, "This place is good as any other." You can that sense that if you're looking for life experience, you didn't hate go out to find it, that it's here. And there's as much to be found in the northeast of Scotland as there is anywhere else. And that doesn't mean you wouldn't want to travel. Nan Shepherd travelled a lot, but we shouldn't forget the local and our own place and the value in that for telling us about experience.
The Cairngorm Mountains are a mass of granite thrust up through the schists and gneiss that form the lower surrounding hills, planed down by the ice cap and split, shattered and scooped by frost, glaciers and the strength of running water. Their physiognomy is in the geography books. So many square miles of area, so many lochs, so many summits of over 4,000 feet. But this is a phalid simulacrum of their reality, which, like every reality that matters ultimately to human beings, is the reality of the mind. Summer on the high plateau can be as delectable as honey. It can also be a roaring scourge. To those who love the place, both are good, since both are part of its essential nature. And it is to know its essential nature that I am seeking here. To know, that is, with the knowledge that is a process of living. This is not done easily, nor in an hour. It is a tale too slow for the impatience of our age. Yet, often the mountain gives itself completely when I have no destination, when I reach nowhere in particular, but have gone out merely to be with the mountain, as one visits a friend with no intention but to be with him. Here one realizes these are mountains, not a shattered plateau, for they are seen as peaks piled on peaks, a majestic culmination. These peaks seem to hang splendidly aloft above the eye, giving a new sense of the grandeur of these mountains.